Hi, welcome back to Card Week. Today is day 4 and we are halfway through the week. So I thought I would mix it up a little bit today and do a tag for you. So here I have used a tag die from Mama Elephant and I've cut it out of the white cardstock, and the reinforcement part of the tag I cut out of the gold cardstock. And the vellum piece right there, I ran through my Big Shot using the embossing folder from Maggie Holmes, which I think has to be my favorite embossing folder because the little doilies come out so pretty on whatever you emboss. So first I'm going to take that sticker that came in the kit and I'm going to place it on the gold cardstock, and then I'm going to cut out around the edge of it, leaving a little tiny gold border. And I think that says happy day to you. So I was thinking I was either going to make this tag be a birthday tag to go on a birthday present or a wedding tag. So towards the end, I decide that I want to make it a wedding tag since I have 2 weddings coming up that I need tags for. But you'll see as I go through the video that little scalloped banner. I keep trying to find a place for that on the card to make it a birthday card, but that little banner never ends up making its way onto the tag. So here I'm just laying everything out, trying to decide which color of the seam binding that I want to use and how I want to layer all my elements together. So the only thing on the tag that does not come in that kit is the doily, the white paper doily. Everything else that is on the tag is stuff that I have gotten from the kit from Clique Kits for World Card Making Day. So first I adhere down that white doily, and then I'm going to take some of my red line tape and I'm going to line the top and bottom of where that vellum's going to lay, and I'm going to add some of my seam binding. You might remember earlier this week in a card that I did where I created ruffles on the card using the seam binding, and I'm going to use that same idea here on this tag. So I lay down my red line tape and then I'm just going to scrunch that seam binding up right along the red line tape, pressing it in as I go to create what looks like a little faux ruffle. So I'm going to do that on the top and on the bottom, and then I'll end up placing that sentiment and the vellum right in between. So right here I'm just kind of measuring out about where I need the next line of red line tape and seam binding to be, to make sure that it is hanging out the bottom of that vellum. So I'm just measuring it out and then laying down that red line tape. Just double checking, and then I'm going to grab the navy blue seam binding and I'm going to work on my ruffle on the bottom edge of that tag. So after I get all my ruffles down on the bottom edge, I'm going to go ahead and trim that seam binding off and finish assembling my tag. So now I have the happy birthday or happy day to you sentiment and that vellum piece. And I keep taking the vellum piece on and off because I'm still not sure how I want to layer it. And then I finally decide that that's the way to go. So I'm going to pop up the happy day to you sentiment with my dimensional adhesive, And then the vellum, I'm just going to use my glue runner, and I'm just going to put the glue in the center and press it down so the edges of the vellum pop up and there's more dimension on the tag. So I'm also going to grab some gold thread. This is just some gold thread that I picked up at Walmart, and Joann's has it and Michael's has it. It's just a nice gold color that is going to bring in the gold from the top of the tag and from around that sentiment. So I'm going to remove the backs of my dimensional adhesive and stick that down right on top of that gold thread. So the gold thread will just end up peeking out of the back of that sentiment. So after I get that all stuck down, then I'm going to wrap the edges of the tag around to the back. Now, what you end up not seeing on the video is I cut another white tag out of white cardstock from that die, and I place it on the back of the tag to cover up everything that I do on the back of the tag. So instead of cutting off the edges and having that show on the edges, I wanted a nice clean look on the sides of my tag. So I just wrap it around and adhere it with some washi tape, and then, like I said, I cut another tag out and adhere that right over the back of the tag so none of that shows, which is a really great way on tags to cover up all your work. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the reinforcement tab to the top of my tag. And I was trying to decide if I liked the tag tucked under or over that doily, and I finally decide that I like it tucked under. And then I'm going to grab my little hole punch and punch a hole through the top of that tag so it's all ready for some thread. So I knew that I still wanted to add some more embellishments to this, so I'm going to pick up the buttons and I'm just going to look through all of them and see what I can find that I will like tucked in there. And I try a few different things, and then I finally decide on the little butterfly and the button. Because the little butterfly had a little bit of turquoise in it, I now needed 3 places of turquoise on the card. So I grab the turquoise twine and I fish it through the top of that tag. So I'll have turquoise there, and then I'll have it on the butterfly, and then I'm going to end up adding that little turquoise button to the very bottom. So even though I'm working on a tag, I'm still going to work in a diagonal for my turquoise colors here. So I first thought I would just glue that down with my multi-medium, and then I decided to pop it up because there were so many layers there. I didn't want it to squish down the layers or get lost behind the layers. So I'm just going to add a tiny pop dot to the back of that butterfly and tuck it in between a few layers there. Then I grab the button and I'm going to tuck it down along the bottom, but first I'm going to grab some of that gold thread and I'm going to fold it over, I think I did 4 times to make it nice and thick, and then I'm going to fish it through those buttonholes and create a little frayed thing of thread. So I fold it over 4 times and then I'm going to fish it through those holes. So you'll see me do that, and then I'll trim it off and you'll see me kind of rub my thumb over the top of the button, and all I'm really doing is fraying the thread a little bit so it moves out and spreads out and shows a little bit more interest. It ends up looking super cute. I love how that ended up looking. And as I trim off the edges, I end up with a long piece of thread that I had already doubled over lots of times. And I'm going to end up taking that and putting it under the butterfly to add a little bit more gold underneath that butterfly. And then that ends up being the end of the tag. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I'm going to go ahead and link to all the previous videos during Card Week. And again, if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. And I look forward to hopping along with you guys on the October 3rd for our crop. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.